What's up, guys? If you're here, it's because you're probably trying to get your tier 9 or your tier 10 farmer's workbench, since they both require the same amount of materials, just tier 10 requires a lot more. We're going to start by going through probably blood petals first, because seems to be the easiest. Blood rose. As you gather enough, you'll hopefully find a seed bag. Can start growing them. As you can see here, it requires essence of life and red crystal shards to make the seeds. Pretty simple. Now, to find blood rose, it seems they're mostly found in forests and then in desert hydrated strips. Now, I don't know how to describe them. That's the best way I have, and that'll be shown on screen what they look like. Now for the tier 2, which you're going to be able to start crafting at tier 9 once you get the recipe, is going to be the Bloodcap Mushroom. And it's going to be basically the same thing as the blood rose recipe. I didn't get lucky enough to get it, unfortunately. My friend did. It's going to take 2 crystal shards instead of just 1, similar to how the Stormcap here takes 2 instead of 1, right? Bloodcaps are really easy to find. They're mostly found in the autumn forests. They're just everywhere in there. And then at the bug, silithid, whatever you want to call them, at the hives. For some reason, there's tons of them around. You go at nighttime, you just find tons of them. It's great. And then for Bloodleaf, which you're going to be able to craft the seeds at tier 10, and it requires 3 crystal shards instead of just, the 1 or the 2. Go to the swamp. Swamps basically seem to be the best way. I couldn't tell if they were like growing on anything in particular of the swamps. But basically, go to swamps, deserts, or snow. For some reason, they seem to grow off of the giant skeletons, like the giant bones that you'll randomly see. Yeah, it turns out bloodleaves spawn on those. And as you can see by my stuff, yeah, you can actually get a seed bag for it. Let's go on to the storm petals. So let's start with storm thistle. Storm thistle seems to be like obviously the most common. It is the tier 1, so it makes sense. You're going to be getting not a lot of petals from it, but it's at least common, right? So you get storm thistle from the savanna, just like on the I don't even know what they're called, because they're not the hoodoos, but you'll see them. They're like just the giant pillars that go up, because they're not exactly hoodoos, but they're like not plateaus, but you'll see. I'm showing it. You're seeing it. Marble Mountains, which is great because they are everywhere, it seems. And then the Taiga Mountains. You're probably here at the Taiga Mountains anyway trying to get, what is it called? Cobalt. So you'll be able to get tons of these. For the tier 2, we have the Stormcap Mushrooms. I could only find these in the mesa. You get tons of them. And they're the tier 2, so you'll end up getting the recipe, like, almost guaranteed. The mushrooms, and they're everywhere. They're great. But, lastly, we get the storm sapling. Now, these are the ones that are on top of the hoodoos. If you don't know what a hoodoo is, yeah, look it up. Look up hoodoo rock, and, that's it's not even anything bad. It's not a troll. It's just an interesting thing that's what they're called. But, yeah, they're on top of the hoodoos. They're pretty easy to see, pretty easy to get. It is a pain in the ass because you have to, climb up the hoodoo, but that's no biggie. But now let's move on to arguably the worst ones, Azure Petals. Azure Petals, you'd think would be really easy. Oh, just go to the Azure biome. Yeah, no. For some reason, the only thing that gives you in the Azure biome that gives you Azure Petals is Azure Kelp. It's really annoying. We will start with the Azure Ferns, because they are the tier 1, so might as well start with the tier 1, right? Obviously, you can get the seeds for these. You can get them for the Azurecap Mushrooms as well. I don't think you can get them from the Azure Kelp, surprisingly. Or at least, I didn't, and I gathered a lot of Azure Kelp. But so anyway, where you get the Azure Ferns, you are going to be looking at the hot springs near the taiga. They're also found near savanna water sometimes. There's no rhyme or reason to why. I only found it once. I was very confused. So let's go on to the next one, the Azurecap Mushroom. They're not found in Azure forests, number one. Or at least, if they are, I never found them. So, I found one in the mushroom forest, a bunch in a normal forest, all along the river, but the interesting one is watering holes in the desert. Now, these are similar in structure to the hot springs, where they're like, you know, like a little rock formation with water. But these just seem more like watering holes, right? It was so consistent with them that I was able to start predicting, like I would look at the map and I'd be like, okay, right here, there's going to be some Azurecaps. And there would be Azurecaps. Go near water and pray. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you more about the mushrooms. The last one, the tier 3. Now, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if there's a seed bag for this, but Azure Kelp is clearly the tier 3. It's found primarily in water. You probably already know this because, you know, you probably got this for teleporters, right? So it's primarily found in water. You'll find it mostly in the Azure Forest. There was an oasis in the desert that had an insane amount. It was unreal. So the fact that they can even be found anywhere other than the Azure Forest is crazy. If you're unsure at any point in the game, if you're like, oh, should I grab this? Should I break this flower? Number one, you could just pick it up and then break it later, right? But number two, if the plant glows, like it has a little glowing effect around it, and like a little shimmery thing, it's probably important, and you're probably going to get those cool petals. I think that's about it, guys. That was a lot of stuff, a lot of information. Probably doesn't seem like much to you guys, because I explained it in like a couple minutes. Hopefully a couple minutes. Yeah, no, that took me like hours and hours of traveling around. So hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully you get a bunch of petals, because Lord knows it will take a minute. But I will see you guys later. Hope this helped you.